Thanks for staying with us now. Minister for Transportation, Rotimi Amechi. I think the Minister for Niger Delta, Godswill Akpabio. Labour and Employment, Christine Ngige. Science and Technology, and Innovation, Ogbonnaya Onu. Minister for Education, Emeka Nwajuaba. Justice Minister, Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, are some of the cabinet members that were affected when the president ordered all members of his cabinet and appointees aspiring for electoral offices to resign on or before Monday, the 16th of May, 2022. Others include the Minister of State, Mines and Steel, Uche Oga, who is running for governorship position in Abia State, and the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Talen, who declared her ambition to contest for the senatorial seat in Plateau State, right? So Victor Tamhemba, acting director, executive director of Raising New Voices, said, being in government and pursuing political ambition has a negative influence on governance. He said governance and performance will ultimately suffer as the ministers are busy roving the country, consulting and seeking support for their aspirations while the primary responsibilities are neglected. This is similar to what elected officials do when they are seeking re-election. At that point, there is the negligence of duty and responsibility as a result of governance. Governance suffers, he added. Now, we are asking a not so obvious question regarding the reason for resignation from political office. And tonight we're asking if resignation of the government officials should be about their ambitions or it should be about their performance. That's the question for tonight. Please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. You can also tweet at us at WaysHowAfrica on the hashtag WaysShow. So, this is a very interesting conversation. Because, you know how we always say that in Nigeria, you can never find anybody that will say, you know what, I'm done. Can I even count how many people have resigned to say, you know what, I don't think
non-performance.
I'm not interested in this. This is all, no, it's not working for me. This is not what I signed for. This is not what I bargained for. It's not working. I'm not going to hit my targets. You know what, because of that, I just tender my resignation.
Absolutely.
We don't really hear that. But what we hear often is that we say, I wasn't given the chance to execute my duties, but you stay there. You did not say, oh, let me resign and go. Then all of a sudden now, everybody is running for president. Everybody's seeking electoral positions. And it's not commonplace. You just open the news, you see this person resign, this person resign, this person resign. So it just got me thinking that shouldn't resignation, right? Even the president ordering a resignation because they're pursuing. So are you saying that governance is not as important as political ambition? That it is okay for you to put an ultimatum to say resign because you're running for an office, but people that have failed, especially Minister for Education, let me just single that one out. That has failed woefully because we can see what the educational state is like in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Do you understand? We have seen those kind of failures. So it was not okay for you to say, you know what, you're not doing your job, resign. But because you are running for a political office, then resign. I'm perplexed.
Let me step in by giving us a brief intro into this whole fiasco. I think, what is performance basically? Performance is you having that interest to do your task and perform it without any reservation, isn't it?
Performance is
excellent. To the best of your knowledge and your ability. It could be below standard, it could be above standard, but the bottom line is you have performed the task. How did you perform the task is left for others to actually judge you on it. Now, what about ambition? Ambition is the strong desire for you to achieve something, to get something, basically. So, what is the desire here? Based on what your premise on what motivated our leaders or our individuals who are vying for the position, it is based on the fact that they have this strong desire to achieve their goals, which isn't to perform a task. It is basically to do what? It is basically to achieve their desire, which is to be the president of the country in whatever capacity they can. Now, in this context, would we say that they've gotten some level of principles or some level of honor or some level of integrity in getting their job done? That is left for the people of Nigeria to answer. That is my intro.
And there was a resignation.
I'm thinking, and you know, when I saw that, I'm asking myself, what is the motive? What is this a strategy because I am more focused on my ambition than on performance? And this is what our politicians, I will probably leave for them to answer, even though I'm not sure the majority of them are willing to answer the question. Because what service? When you talk about public offices, you are appointing people who have a desire to perform for its citizens, isn't it? Absolutely. You are serving the people. But from all of this, let me borrow Isi's language, fiasco that is going on. It is obvious that this is all about ambition. Totally. We have a lot of ambitious politicians. Look at the number of people who came out even after the fee was increased to 100 million. You have people willing to stake and call all their groups of friends and associations who are supporting them and funding them with 100 million for a form, a nomination form.
Not the campaign.
And I haven't seen this level of commitment and drive when it comes to your office, whether as the Minister of Labor or the Minister for Education. We haven't seen you being this passionate. And I'm wondering, government officials, you want to resign. What is the motive behind your resignation? I think it's because you have the ambition to become a president. Maybe somewhere in your dreams or in your, your circle of influence, you've been told that you have what it takes to become the president. And I've yet to see who is asking questions. I think it's only the vice president that I've seen put out some write-up about he has intentions to lead. He's been in government. He understands the terrain. And he believes that now is the right time for him to come out at this level, to serve the people of Nigeria. That is his own statement. I'm yet to see any more statements. But from all of this that is going on, it is obvious that any resignation that is going on presently is not because they have the interest of Nigerians at heart. It is not because they want to change the situation of ASU strike, or people that have not been paid for months, or the fuel situation, the fuel crisis that is going on, or the
food insecurity,
general insecurity in the state, Who is saying something about it? Who is doing something about it? When we see what you are doing, and then you say, I think that in this capacity, I can even take it further by becoming your representative in the area of the presidency, then it can make sense to the Nigerian citizen that, yes, we have seen a track record. Yes, we've seen a history that this person means well for the people. But we haven't seen any of that. All we're seeing is resignation so that my political ambition can come to pass.
Hallelujah.
Praise the Lord.
So I took the liberty. My Ebu Omolola, I told her to send me a few resignations that we've seen globally. When you hear government officials resigning abroad, you know, it's a completely different ball game from Nigeria. So there was one that says the Sri Lanka Prime Minister resigns as government cracks down on protests over economic crisis and gross mismanagement.
Yeah.
That's one. 4 Russian government
officials
resign as war-included sanctions bite. Sri Lanka Prime Minister, okay, I think I talked about that one, resigned, including 4 lawmakers. And there's one that struck me. UN, the head of UN agency resigns as questions arise about loans. So you hear that there is a shady deal going on, some kinds of underground conversations and all of that. And you just see the person say, I'm resigning, I'm all of that. But you see, when this resignation started happening in Nigeria, first of all, I was shocked that they can actually resign. Somebody can actually type a resignation letter in this country. Yeah. It's not possible. It's either you are kicked out or you're not re-elected and all of that. Yeah. But it now got me a lot more worried. So the fact that you haven't performed all these years did not even prick your mind to say, you know what, I think I've failed. This was not what I promised when I was going into this office. So for that singular reason, I want to step back. That did not come up. Every resignation that we're seeing now is because somebody somewhere wants to pursue a political ambition. Some have even refused to resign. Do you understand?
The governor of Ebonyi State, I believe, he had some law case, and he was still, he said he would still be governor in spite of, and he has a pending case in court.
So you see, that's where another thing, that's where I talked about, if you recall what I said earlier, I talked about integrity, honor, and principles. If you do not have the principles, which I think, in quote, that it is questionable in terms of our political class. If you do not have the principle, would you have the interest to actually step down because of the fact that I did not perform, because of the fact that my track record is not speaking for me? Integrity also comes to play.
Of course.
It plays a huge role. And we know that this is totally lacking in the political class. So they cannot be, they won't have that conscience that, oh, I didn't perform my task up to par, and I didn't do my job. And let's look at the educational sector, for example. You know, the education sector is
ASU is on strike.
Is on a total downward
spiral. A whole minister for education, you are resigning.
Where did they
you want to go and pursue
minister for labor as well?
You are resigning that you want to go and pursue, what's it called, a political ambition. Labor minister is resigning to pursue a presidential race.
Yes.
People have been on strike. What is the future of any nation? Go and check the educational sector.
Oh, yes.
If you see how good the educational sector is, you would know that, okay, this country has a future. As it stands today, what is our future as a country? Then we are now seeing, I mean, so much resignation, but it's not because I failed at my point, my line of duty.
Yes.
But no, it's because I want to pursue another political. So should we even trust these people
in the first place?
Can we even trust them?
They're telling you that when you've trusted them with little, so when you entrust them with much more,
with Williams Chambers video.
when you entrust them with much more, they will perform. It is unfortunate, and I'll piggyback off Isi said, because of integrity. Our politicians or leaders lack integrity. First and foremost, when one resigns, like you rightly said, it's because I have failed on the promises that I have said, or the things that I said that I will be able to do within the time frame of my appointment. And where I see that I have failed, then that means I am not worthy to occupy this office or this position. And the honorable thing to do in honorable climes
is to step down.
Is to be able to step down. At least with a sense of, what's the word?
Dignity.
The little dignity that is left of you. You just respect yourself and calm down.
I think there is a way to do that.
We like it from all of the theatrics that have been seen. It's obvious that our people have no shame. You know, you say something and now it makes sense, a whole lot of sense to me. You can't shame the shameless.
You can't. No way.
You cannot shame the shameless. As long as for the effrontery to step out to say, vote for me as president,
Shamelessly.
when you are given an appointment which you woefully failed to perform your duties in. How would you expect? And I mean, it just still
some would
ties
argue
back.
that they have performed.
In their minds. Is it not the people that will give you that feedback? How do you give yourself feedback that I have done well? Feedback as a Toastmaster. Feedback, we say, is the breakfast of champions.
Yeah.
When I give a speech, am I the one going to tell myself that, yes, I did well? No, I have to hear from somebody else, because there are what they call blind spots. There are areas that I may not be able to see well, that somebody from where they are, their perspective can see clearer than myself. And they'll be able to tell me, oh, you missed it in here, in A, B, and C.
Absolutely.
But I will finish and I will tell myself, oh, I did an amazing job. And that's it. That my word is final. Then how can we make progress when we cannot? I mean, at this point, I even want to applaud to an extent when Governor Fashola there was this panel that he used to have where even people would ask questions. I don't.
Town hall?
Yes, the town hall meeting where people can ask questions. Okay, what are you, as in this area, these are the areas we're having problem. What have you done about it? And then he takes up all of that, and then he goes back to the drawing board. Say, okay, what are we doing? So that by the next town hall meeting, we have
A report.
to give the people to say, okay, this is how far we've gone. We are not expecting you to accomplish all of your plans 100%. But like my father would say, be seen to be trying.
On that note, let's take a break. I want to open our phone lines. Please, I want to hear your thoughts on this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, so if you just tuned in, it's our ladies' night out. It should be seen to be trying. And we are discussing government officials. So, should resignation be about ambitions or performance? And please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 803-84663. You can also tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. And our phone line is now open. The number to call is 07025007749. That's the number to call. Do ensure, please, turn off the volume of your television set so we can hear ourselves. You know, you see what that writer said when I was introducing the topic, when he talked about distractions, right? Yeah. Even before, see, if you even notice, right, it's 2023 that the election, governance stopped in 2021.
Totally.
Because you see what politicians do, they plan 2 years ahead stretch for the next election. We already know that governance is suffering as it is today. Anything you're doing is almost at a halt because everybody's energy and everything is focused on 2023, the general elections, right?
Yeah.
Already that is even suffering. Then you now come and crown it with the insult, like it's like pouring salt on an open wound, right? You haven't even done your job. You know, most of the people that are coming out to say they want to run for elective offices, most of them have questions to answer when it comes to the performance.
So they hide under the guise
of their the job that was given to them, their job description, right? And you then wake up and say that it's like you know how it. I don't know how it feels. Like you know that I have failed so well. Then now. So your resignation was not because I didn't do well. Oh. Your resignation is because I want to now go further for another position so that we would elect you.
So what does that
tell
that's
us? Boldness. Oh.
And that's selfishness too.
No, it's boldness.
It's also selfishness.
They will not tell you it's selfish.
Because why is it selfishness? Because it is not about what the people want. It's not about service. It's not about the people. It's all about them. And at the end of the day, like I stated earlier, principles
So
and
what's the way
integrity
forward
also comes to
while
play.
we're talking about this matter? Because you see, even with the people that are current governors of states
Yeah.
that are picking up forms to say they want to run for presidency and all of that, that one in itself is an issue because the governance of that state is on hold. A lot of those states are suffering, you know, in terms of governance wise. Because the truth is your attention, and that's the truth about politics, your attention
Currently.
is drawn,
It's drawn.
or you have to do a lot of visitations, you have to do a lot of consultations, you have to, so what is happening, you know, to those people that are currently like governors and all of that, that
Yeah.
are that say they picked up forms to run for elections? Everything is suffering. So how do we draw, where do we start to draw this line? And if at all there would be a resignation, right, where do we as a people start to demand those kinds of resignation?
We as a people. Are we as a people? The question here is, I feel that we need to understand that we as a people, we need to come together and understand the dynamics of governance and our political leaders. Like Dr. We had him on the show. He said that the leaders are our servants. They are supposed to be leading us and serving us at the same time. So we need to understand that they are answerable to us, not the other way around. Where did they get the monies from that they're using? Where did they get the monies
Their
from?
committee of
The
friends.
committee of friends, in quote. And another thing we should also take into cognizance is this, that we should be mindful of where, I'm losing my trail of thought, but we should be mindful of the fact that these people do not have our interest at heart.
Absolutely.
We should be totally
Their
mindful
actions
of
already
this.
say that.
Yes.
Let me take our first caller for the evening, Dr. Adewoye from Adamawa State. Wow.
All the
That's a far place. Thank you for calling. You're live. Go ahead.
Yes. Following the trend of this president's directive for the ministers to
Resign.
in the first instance, they're supposed not to even wait for the president to give the directives.
The ultimatum.
They're supposed to know the right thing to do. If they are confident of themselves, they should resign. And then put themselves forward. If they are credible enough, then they be voted in. And as all of us know, most of these people that are coming up, many of them are not credible. But let's put our hands and see, cross our fingers and see what is going to happen. We hope the best for this country.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Adewale.
We cannot fold our hands.
You're saying he's saying
cannot.
something. I think only very few
We
people had
can't.
resigned before the president gave that directive, right?
Yes.
You know, I think I can't remember who and who now, but I
think it
knew.
was Akpabio.
Yeah, I knew some had resigned before that directive came. But I'm even saying that, you know, even the president himself. Let's come back to the president, right? As a leader, even if the people, you know, because they say that these guys are not in touch with the citizens, you're not in touch with reality and all of that, but you are feeling, you know, you're feeling the pulse of the people.
The people.
And, you know, in some sectors, especially education, no, because it is really, really hurting. Education has the capacity.
Really feeling the pulse of the people.
Education has the capacity to transform any human being.
Totally.
Because it is knowledge that eventually gives you the capacity to be able to earn, you know, and become valuable to yourself and to your society, right? So even if nothing, let's focus on two things, healthcare and education. We've seen that there is consistency in the failure of whoever is supposed to be in charge of those ministries.
Yeah.
You as a president, you did not call for the resignation of those people while they was busy. Now, how many months are we going on for the ASU strike? I think 3 months or something.
Yeah.
You
And
didn't
we're
call for a
entering another 3
resignation.
months.
But because now they are running for an elective office, Like, does it not even tell us that we are in a much bigger mess? That you didn't see any reason to ask these people to leave that office so you could put a credible person. But it is because they are running for political office? Maybe I'm the one overthinking this.
But recently, it was in the news too that the son who is representing the president who is asking for 6 months.
That son should just hold his thoughts.
His tenure to be extended
so that
he can
fight.
So that he can tackle
Thank you for bringing that up. We are coming back. Let me take youngest old man. Thank you for calling.
Yes, good evening.
Hi, youngest old man.
How are you?
I'm good.
Thank
All right,
you.
that's good. Now we're done, eh?
Thank you.
You see, I just want to personally tell you some things that you don't understand. This country now cruise, you understand? We're just enjoying the ride. Anyhow, no matter how the driver bad reach the destination with the focus on. A country where the leaders of tomorrow have been prepared, while the followers of tomorrow too have been prepared. At least now, if you watch, as is on strike, some people they somewhere they are picking the school, and then be the leaders of tomorrow. Those where they on strike, and then be the followers of tomorrow. No one like incapacitation. I rather they speak the English on the roll call. You see, it pains me a lot when you force people to do the right thing. You understand? I really envy the guy that resigned 3 months ago. Is it since April or something like that, according to the president? I envy his energy, and he knows what he wants. But some people with the critical time that we are in this country, you understand? And somebody is still busy paying 100 million naira to buy form. Why the place you are heading? Let's assume now I'm a blind man and they tell me to go and vote. I will now come and vote somebody that even practically where you are, where you are leading as a leader per se, is having crisis. You know, I don't know what that means. It's just like when your house is on fire, you are going to a neighbor's house to catch rats or something like that. You know, sometimes it baffles me in this country. I don't even know if at all they are in tune to another TV. They watch another thing, not what we see on daily basis. So these things, it makes me go somehow. And you know, yesterday you guys were talking about Genevieve and so on, and I'm like, in this country, if you are normal, you are not normal. You can't be normal in this country. If you are normal in this country, you are not normal as an individual, because basically a lot of things is even making me go mad in this country. These things are happening. Look at, okay, you know, they've technically forgotten those Kaduna plane, whatever thing. And the guy in charge that's supposed to go resign is buying form. You understand? So things happen in this country that when I check other countries, I just be like, God, what is your plan for us? Can you just give us a just simple vision of what you have for us in the future, so that people like us will not lose hope?
Thank you so much.
Seriously, this country now cruise. The thing no sweet at all.
It
know
well.
what's happening, Sha. We never done one of the trying a bit. And I didn't force my small.
Thank you, youngest old man. You know, youngest old man, they talk about destination. At this rate, will we have a destination when we continue like this, where everybody thinks I can do anything and, you know,
get away with it?
Because that's basically what you're saying, right? Because you talked about that son that was asking for a 6-month extension for the president so that he could, finish the.
What he hasn't
done for 8 years. Like, so what are the parameters? You know what? Let's even calm down. Is it that our parameters for success, do you understand, or failures, our parameters as for performance, is it that it's so bad? Because some people would resign at the very second or third month when they see that the thing is not working. But let me take Solomon from Abuja, then I'll come back to you ladies. Thank you for calling. Solomon, you're live.
I'm still there.
Go ahead, you're live.
Yeah, I'm calling from Abuja.
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, you are live. Go ahead,
Okay,
Solomon.
Okay. This issue, they still tell you. Like serious. I'm talking like serious about this Azov strike. Like the other guys are saying, when the the students are on strike. The president did not even order those people, like the Minister of Education, to resign if it is happening like this. He did not say any type of it, but now that he has put in place on become a president, is the time that he's asking them to resign. Well, I know it's right. He's supposed to tell them to resign, but the next time that he's supposed to ask them to stop, he refused to tell them to ask them to resign. What kind of country we live in, myself?
Thank you.
If I just done like this, the time of the thing like that.
Thank you so much, Solomon. Thank you, Solomon. The voice, the feedback is really is a lot.
bad.
So for me, I don't even know where to go from this, because what are the parameters for performance? What are the parameters for success? How do we say that this particular thing, this person has succeeded in their deliveries? What are their KPIs? What did they call that? No, not KPI. Their job description.
Yeah.
Maybe if we check what they were given to do, maybe that's exactly what they did in
But
those
how
offices.
do-
Because
and
if you want to key performance, yes, indicators. Sorry, the KPIs.
Index,
I was
yeah.
right.
KPI,
yes.
The key performance indicators for each ministry, for instance, what are they, and what is their score points on those? But let me take Michael. I think we have another. Today is today. Michael, you're live. Please go ahead.
I can see that opportunity has been presented for us as Nigerians to decide our fate again. We had the opportunity last 4 years, last 8 years, and we actually missed it out. But this time around, another opportunity has been presented. So I think everybody should actually, stand up to this reality. Now, what should we do to salvage this situation? Because hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Go ahead.
live.
Yes. So to salvage this situation so that we don't find ourselves in another mess again for the next 4 years. As Nigerians, we have our PVC in our hands to vote the right people that have the pedigree, the clear record, the people of questionable characters who can stand the test of time and understand that governance is about delivering good service to the citizenry, not about embezzling money, not about selfish and personal interest. So these are things that we need to understand. That we have to decide our fate now as Nigerians. A critical issue was raised at the floor of the National Assembly about electronic voting, which has been a viable platform of preventing electoral malpractice. Which has been a viable platform of preventing rigging in elections. And that thing died down. That critical issue died down at the floor of the National Assembly. And Nigerians never did anything about it. And we have rights, like there should be a kind of referendum where the citizens can vote to decide a particular issue and say, okay, this is what we want. These people that are there, we put them there. We voted them there. We elected them there. So they're not called representative.
But what are the, so thank you so much. Thank you, Michael. So that's the question I'm asking, that what are the KPIs that we're expecting from these people in their ministries? Because if we do not even know what they are supposed to be doing, how do we then call for their resignation? Because I feel in answering this question, resignation should be based on the fact that you under-delivered.
On your performance.
Do you understand?
If I may add to that, Uwa, we need, I think, education, but not the formal education, maybe even in the formal sector. In the formal setting, we need to educate Nigerians, right? People who know, how much of it are you talking about? In your conversations, how are you educating and enlightening people about their choices, about the politicians or leaders who are aspiring to come up to be their next group of leaders? In the markets, when we're having these conversations, this should be an everyday engagement. I don't know how they picked it out of our education system, where history, we no longer have history where we can tell young people, say, these were people who failed us in the past. These were the things that happened. This was what happened. This and these are the, so that in the future they can ask the right kind of questions. So when we're engaging, it's very important that we begin. And every Nigerian, I'm saying to every Nigerian, every conversation that you're having, talk about it. If you know what the right thing is, Educate people. There are a lot of people who don't understand these things. They think it's only, oh, when they send them rice and this and that. I don't know if I mentioned that I was listening to a radio station, and they were asking the question, what is your vote worth? And people were saying, oh, if they pay me 500 million now, somebody said 500,000. People were some have said that they've even sold their votes. That's how bad the situation is. But when people understand, it is not just about selling your vote. The implication, when you sell the vote, you are selling the future of generations.
So the question I'm asking is, when should we start to shout to say, you know what, you are not performing? Because you see, the common theatrics in politics in this country is that if a new dispensation comes in now, like tomorrow now,
everything goes
even
out
if
the
it's
window.
under the same party that they re-elect
gets
the
swept
president,
under the
you
carpet.
go say, it was the past previous administration. They begin to do
a
blame.
new-
They
a
use
new
one
administration.
whole year up to 2 years to be doing blame
damage
game.
control.
No, it's not damage.
Oh,
blame game.
Blame game, yeah.
That it was
was
because of this
APC or
person, this
PDP.
one, you know, and all of that. And because we see this play out all the time.
Yeah.
So if we want to start to hold our leaders accountable and want to hold them based on performance, right? How do we even go about it as a people?
I don't know. He made mention of a referendum. Sorry, if I may quickly come in there. I mean, there are these things that they sign up, petitions that they sign up. I think maybe
Those things work in this country.
Some of them do. It's how often, how consistent, how persistent are we? It still boils down to education. If people do not know that they have power, as little as signing a petition saying, this is not what we want, and we are able to present it in court to say, millions of people have said that enough is enough about this particular situation. But because they do not know, and there's nobody talking about it, then what continues to cry will continue to cry.
You see, let me hear your thoughts.
Norma has said the main thing, which is awareness. Awareness plays a huge role in all of this. If we are not aware of the job description
And the rights that we have as a people.
the KPI of each
Political appointee.
Political appointee, as well as we knowing our rights as individuals or as the electorate. Thank you. As electorate, we will continue to make the same mistake. However, we also need to understand this, that we have a government that would stand for us when we stand for ourselves. If we do not stand for ourselves as a people, then they will not listen to us.
Absolutely.
So we need to step up on our
Norma,
game.
you have a comment.
Yes, I do have a comment. It says, good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of what are you saying ways. Concerning government officials resigning, it should be about performance. Anyone that is ineffective in an office should be advised to resign, whether they like it or not. It should be done with honor and dignity to command respect. Sister Norma said it all. We cannot shame the shameless.
Yes.
Because people think that it has to be them and no one. It is not a do or die affair. Take, for instance, another case of the Minister of Education resigning to pursue his political career. It is wrong. Now, ASU is on strike, which is wrong if the minister is doing his job well. Education and healthcare is very vital. What pains me is that the youths are at home instead of at school. Sister Uwa, nice to see you smile again. I missed it yesterday. My name is Daniel Ilo, Ways regular fan. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Okay, so I was just going to say that, you remember there was a bill that was passed in, how did they say that thing, in the House, that
Yes.
somebody was suggesting that, please, let's ensure that all political appointees and everybody, they make sure that their children school in Nigeria. Where is that
Bill.
today? They threw it out, you know. So it means that we really don't have, but Isi, you have a final comment, and let's wrap up this conversation.
Okay, just a minute. Let me dig it out. All right, and it says, just a minute. Okay, Good evening, ladies. I want to appreciate you all for all your efforts, intriguing topics, and contributions. Concerning today's topic, I think there should be a policy that bans every government officials from contesting any position. You just said it all.
That one no go work. Who is that? That one no go work.
But you know, however,
Quickly, we have run out of time.
Yes, it
Go ahead.
is in the Civil Service Commission that no federal, official is allowed to actually contest for any kind of
Absolutely.
political position if you are still in office. So we are supposed to have stepped out
before. All right, thank you so much, ladies. Thank you to everyone that contributed. Now, before we go, ensure you follow us on Instagram at WayShowAfrica, on Twitter at WayShowAfrica1. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, follow all our engagements on social media. If you missed today's quote, here it is again. Some political leaders in the world make big mistakes, but they never resign. Some make a small mistake, but they immediately resign. What makes a political leader to resign or not to resign has something to do with having an honor or not. Okay. Those, I'm trying to find where I stopped. Honor or not. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. At least you read it. Bye.